We'll go right into content standards. We'll take a look at some of the content standards. So we developed out some courses for different states based on a number of standards frameworks that are used across different states, and often states will use some of the most common CS content standards, and that includes the CSTA K through 12 computer science standards, definitely a really commonly adopted one. The ISTE computer science standards for students, or the K-12 computer science framework. You may also be in a state that uses the next generation science standards, commonly denoted as NGSS, or also the Common Core State Standards for Mathematics. So depending on your state, they may or may not have adopted a framework that was already existing, for example, from CSEA. And CodeHS has developed a bunch of different state courses and pathways, depending on demand for them and things like that. So we'll go over some of that today, and we will also go over whether or not we do have a course that's fully built out for your state and your content matter. I'll show you how to use our frameworks tools so you can kind of customize and fill in any gaps that might be there. So first, we'll take a look at some of the state-specific courses. The first way to do this is in the course catalog. So I'll open up codehs.com/course catalog, and Lindsay also threw that in the chat. This is our curriculum catalog where you can access all of our curriculum, and you can also filter this by state up here. So you can filter this for your specific state. You know, if you live in New Hampshire, you'll see any courses that we have available specifically for that state. So that's an easy way to get to any course. You can also filter, if we do have a state-specific course, it will have the state name in the title. So you can also just filter, for Indiana, and that will show any Indiana courses that we have. I'm kind of like way zoomed in. Yeah, it's on 150% there. Okay. Yeah, so there's the course catalog. You can get that from the toolbox. If you go to your toolbox while you're logged in, you can go to the course catalog at any time. Also, our team just yesterday added a link to it on your teacher page sidebar over here. So on the left, you'll have a direct link to the course catalog where you can browse state courses. And on this page as well, you can enroll yourself in any course that you are interested in exploring. So that would, if you aren't ready to assign it to your students right away, and you just kind of want to view what's there or view the syllabus or check it out yourself, you can always enroll in a course, and that will enroll for you to see it as your students will see it. So with that said, a large chunk of states have adopted the CSTA standards framework for their own state-specific computer science standards. So CodeHS has developed 2 courses that are used across several states for their middle school and high school computer science pathways. So you'll see a variation of these 2 courses for any state that has adopted the CSTA framework, which is a good number of them. I don't know the exact number, but it's a good number of them. For high school, we have our Foundations of Computing course that follows the CSTA 3A framework. And then we also have the Tech Apps and Coding course for middle school, which follows CSTA 2. So here are the states that use the CSTA 3 course and the CSTA 2 middle school course. Iowa, Hawaii, New Hampshire, etc. for Foundations of Computing, which is the high school course. So all of those will have their own version, but they do follow the standard course with maybe some tweaks to fill in individual standards gaps. And there is also in the course catalog, if you wanted to just assign this base course, Foundations of Computing, without a specific state alignment, you have to type it correctly. But once you do that, you can find it here. And this is the base CSTA 3A course. And the same thing for the Foundations of Computing. The Tech Apps and Coding course. So first, we'll take a look at this Foundations of Computing overview. It is fully aligned to the CSTA 3A standards framework for students in grades 9 and 10. It covers all concepts in the framework, including algorithms and programming, computing systems, data and analysis, impacts of computing, and networks and the internet. It's designed for, it's a year-long course designed generally for 9th or 10th grade, like early high school. And they don't need a prereq, although it's okay if they have taken a computer science course in middle school, but it is a beginner's course as well. So here is the syllabus link for the Foundations of Computer Science course. So I'll open this up so we can just take a look together. This is how all courses on CodeHS are laid out. Each course will have a syllabus similar to this. And for the states that are using the CSTA 3A course syllabus, they'll all be very similar, and they might even have CSTA 3A on top, even if it is the Indiana specific one, if there are no custom, if there's no deviations and they just said, hey, we trust the CSTA standards, we're going to use those. Well, you'll see the same syllabus across those courses. So each syllabus that we have for every course on our site will have some just general information about what they'll need and the general layout of the course, any prereqs that they would need. This, again, for the high school and middle school courses, there are no previous, prereqs or anything like that. And then they will also have a breakdown of each module in the course, along with a pacing guide. So each unit, we call them modules, but the module and unit are kind of interchangeable on CodeHS. And each module will have a estimate of how long it would take. So, 4 weeks to do the programming with Carol, week and a half to do Carol challenges, etc. So that will go all the way through each unit in the course. And then there's also some optional supplemental materials included within the course and included on the syllabus as well. So that's the general structure of each syllabus on our site, including the any state specific ones and the kind of more general ones as well. You'll also find a course overview page for any of the courses. I'm going to just show the one for CS Foundation so you can see what they look like. But every course will have this. You can get to this on the course catalog. The Learn More page will take you to there. So I'll actually just click from here since I'm here. So this is the course overview page. You'll get a link to the syllabus. You'll get just a brief overview of like how long it takes. If there are other versions, if it's a course that has a semester or a quarter-long version, you'll see information about that here as well. You can click this Explore course, which will kind of give you a more broken down look at each lesson in the course. And if you click one of these, it'll take you to a more detailed lesson with the objectives and each activity in the course. So that's clicking Explore course up here. And then you'll get another breakdown of the modules and just a little description of each module. Just kind of, it's designed to be an overview at a glance and what's included with the course. And then a couple of demo programs as well for what students would create within that course. Any resources that you can take a peek at. These are some links to handouts that are optional for the student. So this is all included on the course resources page. And then if you scroll down a little more, you'll see an alignment page. And so for this one, Foundations of Computer Science, as it is one of our CSCA courses, you'll see a few states that are fully aligned to it, such as Connecticut and Hawaii. And you can view the alignment if you click that. And later on, we'll show how to use this tool for things that aren't 100% mapped. But just to highlight that you can see on any course on CodeHS will have this information about if I've taught this course, would it align to the standards framework? And just some related courses and things like that. So all of these things are found on the course overview of any page. I won't go into that of every course we're going to look at today, but I did just want to walk through it for this first one. And then now we'll take a look at the middle school course, which is the Tech Apps and Coding. And again, this is aligned to the CSTA's framework. This is the CSTA 2 framework, Tech Apps and Coding. So this is a one-year course designed for middle school. And again, here's a link to the syllabus and the overview. Go ahead and drop these up. Lindsay dropped that in the chat if you wanted to check those out. I won't look at them as a group, but you can feel free to explore those. And then beyond the CSTA courses, which are obviously applied to a number of states, we also have more if the state itself has adopted a more custom framework, we do work based on demand from districts and based on demand from teachers that are teaching the course, and how far along they are in rolling out their computer science program. We do build custom courses as well. So we have Arizona, Arkansas, California. Most of these are the when we start building out pathways, we often start with the most common course, which tends to be a foundational course, which tends to be, kind of a broader introduction, maybe a survey type course. But for some states like Indiana, and we'll see over here, Texas and Georgia, we have quite a built out pathway. So if you are in a state that is building out a robust pathway, definitely get in touch with our team. We are always working on building out our courses. And for Georgia in particular, if you type in Georgia, they have like a whole pathway designed for career and career readiness, and we have courses built out to meet all of their standards needs. So so some of our states, we just have a couple, and that kind of also depends on where the state is at in terms of where their own pathway is. But in general, we have a lot to offer for, chances are we have something specific for your state or something that would be really close to it. And if we don't, definitely get in touch with us, and, we can get that conversation going as well. PSA, all of our courses, everything we've looked at so far today is free. Everything in our course catalog is completely free. The courses are free to the teachers and their students. We do have a pro plan on CodeHS, and that is largely things like lesson plans and a grade book and class management tools. But all of the curriculum and all of the activities that your students would work through will be for free, and that includes any of the state courses as well. I guess it's a good time to pause for questions if there haven't any to come in that would be good to answer live. We're all good? Okay. So next we will take a look at our standards tool. So this will be if we don't have something that is completely 100% aligned and officially launched, we still probably can get you pretty far with what we've got. So I'll show you how this can look too. So to look at what CodeHS offers in your states, let's drop this in the chat, codehs.com/states. And this is an interactive map where let's say, for example, let's say, where's Alabama? There it is. There will be anything to know related to standards in your states, and just kind of what, CS education within your state. There will be any kind of statistics here, and there will be a recommended pathway, and there will also be a standards framework. So as you can see, we don't have an Alabama 100% aligned course, but we do have here in this section, the standards section, you'll see that we have a recommendation for the course that is the most aligned. So if you click view, this will take you to the recommended course that aligns with the most standards for Alabama. And in this case, it is computing ideas. And you'll see that it is 77% mapped to the course. And on this page, you'll see it will correspond to the CodeHS lesson. So if you click this, it will take you to the lesson with that alignment. And then you'll also see which lessons are not aligned. It won't have an alignment. But I think the thing to note here is that even if it's not aligned to our, you can only, this tool has a limitation where you can only map it to one course at a time. So right now I'm mapping it to computing ideas, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have content elsewhere that could fill in some of these blanks. So for example, I'll go back here too. So, anything that's blank means that in computing ideas, there's no lesson that corresponds to it. But for example, here on 29, define artificial intelligence and identify examples of AI in the community, we do have an entire AI course. So there's definitely something elsewhere on the site that will correspond to that. So just wanted to point that out. When there's a standard that isn't aligned to a lesson, that doesn't mean that there is not CodeHS content anywhere on the site that isn't aligned. It just means that that course specifically doesn't have that content. But you could pull in the first lessons in our Foundations of AI course to increase the alignment. So you'll see some gaps on the alignment page, but that doesn't mean we don't have that content. And let's see. So if we go to this next slide, the framework tool, this is where we can kind of plug in our framework. Oops, I opened it in a new window. I need to do that. Here, frameworks. So here you'll have any state framework that we are aware of has been uploaded here. If you are teaching in a state, or if you're aware of a new framework, definitely reach out to us. We want to be on as up to date as we can. But for example, for the same example, let's take LBM 6. And then I can choose which course I want to map it to. So let's say if I want to do artificial intelligence, and then I can see, that it would fill in some of the gaps here. So you can go back to it and keep toggling which standards would be aligned to which courses, and that can help you kind of fill in the gaps of anything. And again, the total outline 5% maps, but this could help you fill in a course where you have, just you need to have lessons that fill in gaps on your main course. So this is just another way to use this tool. And then, any questions on that have come up? Oh, okay. Great. And then the last thing to go over today is that we also offer online courses to prepare teachers to take state-specific teacher certification exams. So we can take a quick look at our prep course offerings here. I'll open up this page. We currently offer prep courses for Georgia, which is called the GACE, FTCE for Florida, and the Praxis, which is required in many states. We have a prep course for Praxis Computer Science 5652. So all of our certification prep courses are aligned to cover 100% of the competencies designated for each exam. I'll take a look at our page that was sent out. So we have the Praxis CS prep course, the FTCE prep course, and the GACE prep course. So you can always, from this page, contact us to learn more about signing up for that course, either at an individual level or school level. We can just get that conversation going. And if there's another prep course that you'd like to see materials for, you could reach out to us still as well. Our team can take a look. We find that a lot of these courses are similar to each other. So if there is something that you're needing, we might be able to put some things together specifically to help you out. And then in general, on CodeHS, if you ever have any questions with anything, the best way to get support is codehs.com/support. This is the best way to get in touch with our team. So I'll show this. This is just a screenshot of the page, but on your teacher page, most pages will have this blue dot. Some of them won't. We've taken them off certain pages just to make sure it's usable, but you will be able to get in touch with our team here. And again, since every state has different requirements, and then different courses have different requirements and frameworks, etc. But our team is happy to take a look at this. And if you get in touch with our team, we will connect to the curriculum team and get as much information as we can. So if you do live in a state that you'd like to see more specific alignment for, or if you just have a question about using our framework tools or using those tools to customize your courses, definitely get in touch with our team. And for example, if you're like, okay, cool, I found how to fill in some of the gaps using the frameworks tool, how can I customize my course? You can go here and say, how do I add assignments? And find a knowledge base article that will guide you step by step about how to customize your course. I just wanted to point that out. Our team is super responsive. Very, very interested in helping teachers out and helping out there. So you can either click the support tab, There it goes. Took a minute to load with all of my windows here, but you'll see exactly how to scroll through the catalog, find what you're looking for, assign it. If you want to assign a whole module, you can do that. If you want to assign just one lesson or one activity even, you can do that. And our team is super quick to help people out and getting your course look exactly the way you wanted it to. And I just wanted to highlight that our support team is awesome, and that's how you get in touch with them. And for more resources as well, we do have a certified educator program. So if you enjoy using CodeHS and you like helping other teachers, definitely look into becoming a CodeHS certified educator. Link to that was dropped in the chat, I think. And then the CodeHS educators Facebook group is also really good to connect with other teachers. Thank you. The Facebook group is pretty active, and it's all teachers just asking, like, you know, any everyday stuff in the classroom. And you can ask things that are kind of higher level at the state standards level, and someone from our team might see that as well. But you can also just ask things like, how do I do this particular, you know, how do you approach this concept in your classroom? And you'll just get some tips and tricks. So the Facebook group is pretty active. We also have other teacher-led workshops coming up. So this codehs.com/free-pd link will take you to any of the webinars that are coming up. So we do have several more coming up for back to school. Definitely feel free to sign up for as many as you'd like. You can also follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and get in touch with us that way. Are there any other questions that have come in? Great. Well, that's all I've got. I will hang out in here for a couple minutes. If you want to ask a couple questions, I will stop the recording